So we've done the basic configuration. We've looked at some application configuration. Now I actually want to take a look at some web application configuration for the policy preferences. So we can look at things like web mirroring. If I wanted to go and grab all of the pages from the web server, if there happened to be a web server there, I could actually do web mirroring. And then we've got web application test settings. So I'm actually going to enable the web application tests. And we've got a maximum runtime because web application testing can actually take quite a bit of time based on how big the web application is, because there's a lot of tests to run on each individual page. And particularly if you're doing things like playing around with sessions and trying different parameters in form fields, web application tests can actually take a lot of time. And so what we've got here is a threshold for the maximum amount of time that we want to take for doing these web application tests. In this case, I'm actually going to use try all HTTP methods. So we're going to do get and post and head and the variety of other HTTP methods. I actually want to turn on HTTP parameter pollution as well. I want to see if I can actually cause some outages or errors or other types of failures within the web application. So in this case, I want to stop at the first flaw, and I really want to look for all flaws. So I'm not going to stop at all. I'm going to look for all of the flaws that are available. So that's within the web application tests. In a second here, I want to go back and take a look at the web application test plugins. So let me just scan back through here in the preferences and see if there was something that I missed. And we've got HTTP cookies import. And I don't actually want to load up a cookies file, although if I had some cookies that may have some login or session cookies in there, I may want to load up a cookies file. In this case, I'm not going to do that. There is an HTTP login page setting so that I could indicate what the login page is, what the form, and this would allow me to actually do testing against an authenticated web server. So if it's a web application that requires you to log in, you've got all of these parameters here that you can use to do the login and then ensure that the login actually took. So I think that's actually it for all of the web application possibilities that we've got. And we can go on and look at the plugins that are available. So we can see the different plugins that we have available for web application testing inside of Nessus. So as I mentioned earlier, there are some CGI abuses, and CGI is the Common Gateway Interface. And so that has to do with a programmatic interface to these web applications. And if I scroll all the way down, we've got web servers here. So I can select web servers and we can take a look at the various possibilities that we've got. So these are different web servers that are available that we can look at and do some testing against. And you can see all of the different tests against Apache servers. And there are a lot of vulnerabilities in Apache. And here's Apache Tomcat, which would be an application server that's based in Java. And here's a number of other Tomcat possibilities or vulnerabilities. And we've got broken web servers, and we can check for Blue Coat as well. And let's actually scroll back up here and take a look at the CGI settings. So CGI abuses cross-site scripting, and you can see there's a number of vulnerabilities based on different application types. So we've got Apache Jakarta, we've got Apache Mod SSL, and what these all are these are plugins based on particular vulnerabilities that have been disclosed and typically have patches that have been provided by the vendor. In this case, what we're doing is we're checking whether the server is potentially vulnerable to these exploits or these vulnerabilities. So that's all of the web application settings that we've got. And since I've made a number of changes, I'm going to go down here. I'm going to update the policy. And the next thing that we need to do is we actually need to start off a scan. And so we'll do that next.